Welcome to another Quantum Conversation, brought to you by AcousticHealth.com. I'm Loren Gailey, and I invite you to sit back as we enter the quantum realm, that space of the greater part of you. It is your connection to infinite possibilities, infinite potential, and infinite mastery.
Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. We are taking a journey to Lemuria. I know that if you are here, you are Lemurian. If you have even felt the vibration of the word Lemuria, or even a curiosity around the word Lemuria, or even a resistance to the word Lemuria, you are Lemuria, Lemurian. And we are bringing it back through our vibration, through the heart. My guest today is a Lemurian, Donna Carol Martens, and she is going to take us on a journey through a group heart thread session all the way to New Lemuria. Donna, welcome. Thank you for being here once again.
Oh, thank you, Loren. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you for having me on, and I'm excited to discuss all things Lemurian.
Yes, and you are a channel of the Mother Goddess. We've talked in another show with you about the Mother Goddess of Lemuria. So exquisite. This is the topic of the hour in our show and in our hearts. And we are really feeling the Divine Mother more and more as we go on this ascension journey. Can you share the Divine Mother is really a missing component that needs to come back and bring us into oneness? Is that what is happening here?
I think that's what's happening here. Basically, we've been in a patriarchal society for thousands of years, but before we were a patriarchal society, and that is in the East and the West, North and South. For the most part, our cultures are patriarchal. But before that, they were matriarchal. The grandmothers and the mothers were in power, and they were running their communities. They were organizing things. They were basically in charge of the government. And that goes way back to ancient Lemuria. And so I think most people understand that there is a call to bring back the sacred feminine energy, not to push the male energy out of power, but to bring in a feminine perspective so that the male and female can work in tandem, cooperate, work together to bring in a healthy and beautiful society for everybody. And that is why the Mother Goddess is coming back at this time, because the sacred feminine is on the rise. You're seeing many more female leaders, and they bring in that nurturance, the love, the understanding. They're interested and invested in their communities. And so that's why I started, or why I was downloaded to channel the goddess, because it's our future, basically.
Yes, and I know that word Lemuria, for me, it melted my heart when I first heard it. And it's our go-to. It seems like it's home, and we can really remember it as we get used to understanding what it is and learning more about it. So we're excited for this. I wanted to just share one quick little tidbit, is that the continent of Lemuria, right? I mean, when you fly over the Pacific Ocean, I lived in Guam for many years, and that is when I first heard of Lemuria. And when I did hear of it, my heart literally melted. And then 10 years go by and I heard of it again. And then the Hawaiian connection, and it was something that really lit me up. And it actually is why I do what I do here, because inside I feel such I know I'm not alone here, but there's a responsibility of how that was lost. And there's a little bit of guilt and shame that we've been working on releasing, and we're going to go ahead and release that as well, even more in today's session. But I wanted to say that in Micronesia, in those islands in the Pacific that are dotted in the Pacific, that really is a remnant of Lemuria. And what's beautiful there is that the feminine they still are in charge. They never really left their roles of political leadership. And they, in one, Chuk, the island of Chuk, the women come and actually have outlawed alcohol because the men would abuse it and become irresponsible. So it's very interesting because they also sing a lot. And so I just wanted to share that those threads of Lemuria are still on our planet. And in the etheric, we can feel that vibration. So what we're doing is anchoring it in again. And the work that you do is assisting all of us, no matter where we are on the planet, to bring it in. We don't have to be in the Pacific. We can be anywhere on our planet. Thank you. That's tremendous, isn't it? That we can offer this now.
Oh, I think so. I think you were so lucky to have that experience and to really experience that energy, probably before most people did, at least in the West. I mean, I know that in Micronesia, in the Philippines, and even in parts of India and Hawaii, the female presence is very strong. But yeah, I mean, basically the mother goddess is a fragment of Prime Creator. And she came down and started the Lemurian culture, the Lemurian civilization as a hologram. And I also want to say that we don't need to feel guilty or in despair that it left, because that actually was the plan. The plan was to bring down this energy, to create it. It was the highest frequency of civilization that ever existed on this planet. But the purpose was to eventually bring that energy to the rest of the world. And so that those codes and those energies, they integrated with the rest of the civilizations. And when that happened, naturally, the Lemurian frequency came down because there was such a disparity between the Lemurian vibration or frequency and the rest of the world. And so the point actually was to get that Lemurian energy in everywhere, into the genetics of all of the peoples on Earth, so that at this time they would have those genetics and those resources to come back to Lemuria. And you don't even have to be an original Lemurian. If you're great, going way back, grandfather, grandmother has the Lemurian genetics, then you can ascend to the new Lemuria. Essentially, the original Lemurians, they interbred with all of the peoples on Earth, or most of them. And so we carry those genetics. And I have met quite a few Lemurians because I do readings, and they live all over the Earth, in Europe, in Australia, I mean, in North America. So they're pretty much spread out. And I feel like they are spread out just to be posts or points of energy all throughout the world that carry that frequency. And they're waking up now. The Lemurians are waking up. They're remembering. Something's very familiar. I remember when I was a kid, I read that book. I don't know what it was called. You might remember it, The Blue Dolphin. It was about this,
No.
this young girl in the, she was a native of an island in the Pacific. And it was all about her relationship with the earth and the dolphins. And when I read that book, I was just like, oh my God, I just felt so connected. And now I'm realizing, 40 years later, 45 years later, that it was the Lemurian energy that I was feeling. It was a very popular book. I'll have to find out the name of it, but it was really good.
Wow, the Blue Dolphin, we think that's the name of it?
I shouldn't, it's something like that. I'll have to research it, but it was very popular when I was a young kid, which is a long time ago. So I don't know if it's in print or
I bet you our audience is Googling that right now. Thank you, Amethyst. Amethyst says it's Island of the Blue Dolphins. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, now this brings up a really interesting point because, all right, I'm going to get a little personal and maybe other people resonate with this. And I know even our world is moving to a new place, our relationships. I wonder, I've had this discussion with people. And so now when you were saying that the Lemurians took this around the world and bred with all the people of the planet to distill or to distribute the genetics of the Lemurian energy to all humans on the planet. Do you know much about the Lemurians and their, wow, I mean, this might get controversial, but I've always wondered, where does monogamy come from? This vow to stay with one person at a time, because I actually remember a past lifetime where, well, okay, I'll be deep and share this. In this lifetime, people who are very close to me, a couple of us were killed in a past life because I was polyamorous with all of them. And so somewhere along the way, monogamy came in, and we don't know why. Do you think the Lemurians had a different energy about how they shared their love? Was monogamy was not a part of Lemuria? I'm not saying that we need to go and be, promiscuous, but this is just a question that comes up.
I haven't delved into that, so I wouldn't know. But so that makes sense to me.
Yeah, it's interesting. And this is what we're piecing together, is our remembrances of it. And I guess when we ask these questions, more is revealed. Like when we ask the question, where do borders come from, right? And passports, that really does help our understanding and ascension, because it helps us see the powers that came in to kind of control our society. So very interesting. I will let our audience put that in their thinking cap and contemplate, or as my friend Randy likes to say, quantumplate. All right, thank you. All right, so we are going to connect with the Mother Goddess heart to heart in this episode. And can you share with us what happens here? Because to really bring in new Lemuria, we need to let go of the old paradigm, the old ways, the old earth. Share a little bit more on this and the necessity here.
Sure. I had a vision or a dream when the culture of Lemuria ended. And it might have been a metaphor, but at that time I was a male and I saw many turtles, in the ocean. And the souls were known as seas, S-E-A-S. There were many seas. That's how they called the soul, was a sea, which makes sense because Lemuria was very water-oriented and ocean-oriented. But anyhow, it's almost like a flip of the switch, kind of. I saw all these seas, all these souls, and boom, the lights went out. It was like, boom, they all went out. And darkness prevailed on the earth. It was very light one moment and very dark the next. So I don't know, I guess it was a cataclysm. I don't know what happened, but it was very quick. But essentially the Mother Goddess, like I said, came down. There was a council or councils in the upper realms, in the high dimensions, and they wanted to really save the earth because the earth had kind of degenerated, or the peoples had degenerated. And that's an old story. We won't get into that, but there was a lot of darkness on the earth. And so they decided to bring the Mother Goddess decided to come down, and then all of the angels and Pleiadians and Starseeds came down within her body. They started the culture. There were other peoples that came in from other star systems, and it went on for many years, or I don't even know if they had time consciousness back then. I think it was such a high frequency. It was like this eternal time feeling that they had. But like all civilizations, it went away, and the Mother Goddess actually fell asleep. She went to sleep when Lemuria ended. She did. And so part of her did, and then part of her started incarnating as a deity time and time again. The Mother Goddess came in as Akhenaten, Kuan Yin, Krishna, I mean, on and on and on, all of these spiritual leaders. And then at some point last year, she woke up from her slumber, because I started channeling her about, 6 years ago. She woke up because I saw her wake up. And if you are seeing pink skies, I don't know if do you ever see pink skies? That's her, and that's her energy. So yes, because her soul ray is pink. And so I actually went to the Black Range. I just got back yesterday. I was there overnight. And for the first time, I saw the pink sky, and I knew it was her. So she's here in the ethers, but she's going to come back in physical form as a leader for the new Lemuria. The Heart Thread session, she wanted to do this so that we could, in our consciousness, go from this paradigm of Earth as it is now, back, I'm saying back, but ahead to the new Lemuria. The new Lemuria is going to be a little bit different than the old Lemuria because it's going to be more inclusive. There's many star seeds that are coming here to experience the new Lemuria. They're coming to Earth for the first time, and they were not present during old Lemuria, during the first rendition. So also there's many Venusians coming to the planet. They've come before in little pockets, the Venusian energy, but really there's a huge stream of Venusians coming to the planet right now. They've already started. The forerunners are here, they're in their 30s. And right now there's many little baby Venusians being born because Venus is going to be a guiding star for the new Earth, and the Venusian culture is going to be very, very prevalent, meaning the food, the art, the architecture, the society, how it operates. We're going to be getting so many Venusian downloads, and they're coming in now. So yes, so there's a lot going on. It's a little bit more comprehensive than the old Lemuria. But she wanted me to do this Heart Thread session so that we could move from our consciousness from the old Earth, the Earth that we're experiencing right now, to Lemuria. So that's, and by the way, Heart Thread is a healing modality that was brought in by Flo Aivia Magdalena, who's a pretty famous channel. I mean, you would know that if you're a channel, right? So, but she brought this in. It was downloaded by angels into her consciousness, and it's a really powerful and beautiful healing modality, and it can be used on an individual level or group level. So we're going to do a group Heart Thread.
We are looking forward to that. Absolutely. We can already feel the energy of that. And wow, the pink clouds.
Yeah, that's her.
That's her. No wonder it just takes our breath away. I know, really, okay, you said in the past 6 years. What I find fascinating is about 6 years ago, I started seeing these early morning pink skies like that, and they're very quick. It's just very fast. And I would grab my phone and go outside, even when it was cold and frigid. I'd go outside and just get a snapshot of it. Wow. All right. That lights me up. That is beautiful. So we can all realize the love in that. And that pinkness really reminds me of the womb energy as well, that feminine energy. So glorious, glorious. No wonder we're always feeling Venus. I don't know how many in this audience looks into the sky and sees Venus, but if we do that, we must be getting the energy from it. Something's grabbing our attention. Very interesting. So when you talk about there's people in their 30s, so they're Venetian from Venus, born in the physical here.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Never been here before. Never. So many, some of the, yeah, never been here before. And they actually create the portals, the pathways for the rest of them to come in. So they're the forerunners. And it's so funny when you meet a starseed that's never been here before. First of all, they're extremely intelligent, very emotionally balanced. They don't have all of the karma that the rest of us have, you know what I mean? And so they're just different, and they're a little bit naive, a little bit, I feel like they need to be protected. They don't understand, you know, exactly how the world works. And some of them do are raised in protective homes and whatnot, because, you know, their energy is so fresh and clean and pure. But they're beautiful. I mean, you can tell, like, in the light in their eyes, and just their whole countenance is different.
And it's beautiful because this is how our world is going to change as they step into roles of leadership, whether it be politics, the new politics. And so so the new Lemuria, before we get into the Heart Thread session, the new Lemuria, have you had a glimpse of that? Do we work in the new Lemuria? Is there money in the new Lemuria? Is there politics or government in the new Lemuria? Have you seen any glimpses of that?
Well, I have stepped into the new earth about 3 times, you know, just energetically, and then come back. But it was more about seeing nature and people and the way, and it was different. It looked like it does here, but of course there's no litter, there's no asphalt, there's no cars, there's no trucks. Everything is sparkly, the colors are more vibrant. But as far as the politics and the business world, I think we're going to be able to manifest. So I believe that we're going to go into our light bodies, or a much higher frequency of what we are now. So we're not going to be these biological beings walking around. We'll have the ability to manifest. What I've seen are many small communities. So the population of the earth, what I've seen is much less, much less. Not everybody's going to ascend. You have to have the frequency. If you have the frequency, you're going. If you don't have the frequency, well, you're going to experience something else. So what I've seen is small communities, maybe 100 people, 80 to 100 people, and they all have a common founding principle or a common goal. So there's artist communities where people are expressing their artistic gifts. There are communities of farmers or people that are interested in growing food and bringing about new methods. There are research and scientific communities. So I see all of these communities all over the earth, and then living in nature. It's just, some of the communities have very, you could say, advanced or interesting architecture. Some of the communities are on the water, but some of them live somewhat primitively. It all depends on what their desire is. What you're going to experience in the new Lemuria is freedom. Freedom to be yourself and to do what you want to do. Like I said, if you're a musician, you're going to live with a bunch of other musicians. You're going to collaborate together. You're going to learn and grow in that community, but there will be traveling between the communities. Some are going to be bigger, some are going to be smaller. And as far as politics and government, self-governing. I don't think we're going to have these huge countries, you know, imposing their will upon the people, which they've done all throughout COVID, as you have seen. I didn't feel like I lived in a democracy so much during that time. So I just see smaller cities, smaller towns where people are becoming self-actualized. And of course, the Starseeds are coming in, and they're also going to teach the humans and help raise the frequency of the humans and bring in the technology so that we're not hustling to make money, because we're going to be able to manifest, first of all. I feel like eventually we're going to be able to manifest whatever we want and need once our frequency is high enough. So there won't really be a need for money or exchange in that way. It's just going to be peaceful, and you're going to be able to pursue your passions, which is what's lacking in this world, because most people are working 9 to 5. They don't have the time. They don't have the energy. Also, I feel like there's going to be fewer children born. I feel like the menstrual cycles are going to change. You're not going to be able to get pregnant every month. I don't think so. And so when you bring a child into the world, it's going to be a collaborative experience. It's going to be very intentional. And just like in the old days, you're going to call that soul into your body. The men are going to participate. and it's going to be a very joyous occasion. Children are going to be wanted, they're going to be held, and they're going to be also seen as purveyors of higher frequency, because these kids, the further we go into the new Lemuria, the frequency is going to get higher, and so it's going to bring in opportunities for extremely high frequency children to come in. So it's going to be great.
Yeah, and it's going to be great. All right, so I don't want to get into timelines or a time limit or when we expect this, but so is it like we've heard this word bifurcation? Is it where some of us just go because we're vibrating differently, that's we're all just going to go here, and so others who vibrate on a different level will go there into their realities, so we will split into various realities, maybe on the same planet or maybe into a different planet?
I think that's true. I mean, from my perspective, that's very true. We will go to New Lemuria when the portal is opened on Kauai. The portal that goes to Lemuria is actually on Kauai. It's closed, okay? Actually, there were a few masters that got stuck in the portal because they were trying to open it and manipulate it, but actually that can only be done by the Mother Goddess. Once she decides to open the portal, boom, we're there. It's going to be very instantaneous. It's not going to be over 10, 20, 30 years. And to be honest with you, I feel like it's right around the corner. It could happen this year. It could happen next year. We're not that far away from it.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so this does explain how, people, all the Hawaiian Islands, I know, touch so many of us so deeply. Just flying into Hawaii, you can feel the shift in energy. And that's just Oahu, which is, the big metropolitan area. But then the island of Kauai itself, that is, when you can see with your eyes, for those who have been there, the energy is just so pristine. And when you can see this beauty with your eyes that your camera cannot even capture. Yes, you can take beautiful pictures, especially up in the North Shore, the Pali Coast, but what you see with your eyes cannot be captured by a video. So this could be that fifth dimensional frequency that's still there. Do you know where on Kauai? Is it just the entire island? Is it above it? Is it under the water? Is it the Pali Coast?
Probably. I haven't been told exactly where, but I will say this. There's a certain billionaire that's buying up a lot of land in Kauai.
Facebook.
That's to block. It's a blockage. But it doesn't.
Right up there. We're talking.
Yeah.
No name.
When the Mother Goddess wants that open, it's going to open. And no, I don't know exactly where. But hopefully they'll tell me at some point. Also want to let you know, from what I've been told, that kind of like the government center, at least at some point in old Lemuria, was on Maui. So where they were running things, organizing things, that was on Maui. And it spanned such a long time, and I don't even know how long Lemuria was around, because we can't measure it really with our linear time measurements. But anyhow, the government was in Maui, the portals in Kauai, and there was a mother crystal, and the mother crystal is off the northwest coast of Maui. Whether it goes further into the ocean, I don't know, but I think it's intact. I don't really think it's fragmented. So it's off of Maui. There was a big temple, and the crystal was inside the temple, and people would come and work with it. So. And the crystals, the crystals provide the power, just like in Atlantis, to run the civilization. They provide energy, they provide healing energy, communication energy. The Lemurians knew how to use the crystals. Once we get that knowledge back and remember how to use the crystals, we're going to be able to provide for ourselves whatever we need. And I think that knowledge is slowly coming back to us.
Yes. All right. So a couple things here talking about crystals, the Hindu temple on Kauai. That's a fascinating story. I've heard a kahuna actually say that there were maps. One of the old queens, one of the last queens on Kauai was married to an American, and they had maps of Lemuria. Isn't that fascinating? So the Hindu temple has a giant quartz crystal in it, and it anchors to the Pleiades. And they also have a beautiful Andara, blue Andara stone. So that's very interesting. We know that we're working with the Andarans, but more importantly, a question from our Q&A box is the Lemurian seed crystals. You know, I know we've all got Lemurian seed crystals here. What's going on with Lemurian seed crystals? Were those seeded around our planet to help us remember and awaken?
Yes, and it's funny because some of the Lemurians transported the seed crystals to places around the earth, but they migrated by themselves. So if they were programmed in Hawaii, let's say they were programmed in Maui towards the end of the civilization, the crystals migrated through the earth and created deposits on other places of the earth, so that they would be accessible for people to find, so that eventually they would be discovered and you could read the information on the crystal. The horizontal lines are, of course, data lines, just like a computer has records. Those crystals keep records. And I also believe that the crystals they can connect to the mother crystal. And so I believe, like, I don't know if I believe that you can access all types of information from one crystal that can connect to various crystals around the planet. So there's information on the history, the culture, the technology in those crystals. I haven't tried to read them lately, but eventually we will be able to read those data lines and we'll remember. But you're not going to be able to connect into the crystal until your frequency is very high. And when you're reading from a crystal, you need to connect to the heart of the crystal. And the crystal heart will say, hey, yes, you can come in and read my data, or no, you can't, because they don't want to be exploited. Of course, they have consciousness. Oh, the mother crystal as well was a huge quartz. I mean, very, very big quartz, just like the quartz in the Hindu temple. But there was a rose quartz base because the mother goddess, her frequency was pink. Her soul ray is pink. So that kind of represented her. At the base of the crystal was this big rose quartz. It's what I've been told.
That just feels so beautiful, so lovely. And I know everyone here is getting into their crystals now and working with it. Thank you. So to raise our frequency, we need to purify. And that's what your heart thread session will do. So this is a beautiful place to go into that session now, Donna. Let's do it. Okay.
Yes. Okay. So basically, when you do a heart thread session, you read the impressions off of the individual's back, but I'm going to be reading the whole collective as a group. And so the intention, you can do a heart thread session with an intention or without, but I'm going to have an intention. And the intention is to remove the old earth paradigm from our consciousness and to bring in the new Lemuria. So, and it'll go for a little bit, probably 10 or 15 minutes. So if everybody wants to just take a deep breath and get into a very relaxed state, we'll get started. And I always use my selenite when I channel, so I'm going to bring that in. Okay, and my rose quartz. All right. So thank you very much. At this time, I would like to bring in my highest and best healing and channeling guides. I'd like to bring in everybody's highest and best healing and channeling guides. I would like to bring in the archangels Raphael, Ariel, Michael, and Gabriel. I'm asking for thousands and thousands of warrior protection angels around anyone listening to this live stream or the video later. Block all negative entities, energies, and thought forms. Lastly, I would like to bring in the energy of the Lemurian Mother Goddess. I ask her to come in, take over my voice, and lead the audience into a heart thread session with the intention that we mentioned. Amen. Okay, so I'm going to bring her in. Greetings, this is the Lemurian Mother Goddess, and I am so happy to bring this heart thread session to you today. If you would, go inside your heart, go inside that beautiful heart space, and breathe in the breath of light, the breath of God, and breathe out any blocks. Breathing in the light of God, breathing out any blocks. One last time, breathing in the love of God and bringing out any blocks. From your root chakra, send a line of communication down to Gaia and connect with her crystalline core. And then pull Gaia's energy up into your root and into your heart. We ask Mother Gaia to help us manifest all the positive changes done through this session today. From your crown chakra, send a line of communication up to Source, up to God or Goddess, and bring in that energy into your crown and into your heart. And now we have connected you. You are a bridge between heaven and earth. From your heart, send a line of communication to the heart of the Lemurian Mother Goddess and connect with me now. And I send a line of communication from my heart all the way to your heart. And I connect with you now. And so I ask that you repeat after me if it feels congruent. If you resonate, repeat after me out loud or silently as we do this heart thread session together. I've walked on this earth so long. Through valleys and mountains. Year after year after year. Through many incarnations. In many different lands. I have walked on this earth such a long time. Bringing my gifts, bringing my light to a world that was shrouded in darkness. I saw pain. I saw suffering. I saw agony. And I also saw the hope. The hope that springs eternal, that would bring new life, new energy, and healing to the planet. I was an observer. I was a participant. I was in power. I was an outcast. I was holy and beautiful. And I was low and corrupted at times. And through all of these experiences, I was seeking. I was seeking for the truth. I was seeking for the light. I was seeking for the love that I caught glimpses of, that I had small experiences of, but yet it seemed to evade me. Where was the love? Where is the love? Why do I not feel it ever present in my heart in every moment? I remember a land and a time of great beauty in the distant past. I want to access it. I want to experience it. I want to feel that and live that once again. The world I am in right now is not where I want to be. I am done with the corruption, the abuse of power, the greed, the suffering, the jostling for energy. This is not who we are. This is not what we deserve. We are greater than that. We are higher than that. We are holier than that. We deserve to relive and to bring in the energy of Lemuria. Can we remember that time? Can we feel that energy in our beautiful hearts? And now I impart to you in frequency the energy of ancient Lemuria, and I ask that you bring these downloads and codes into your open heart at this time. So here it comes through the crown and into your hearts. I cast off all doubt. I leave behind all fear and worry. I let go of any blocks, any constraints, or any belief systems that hold me back from the new Lemuria. I bring golden love and pink love into my heart. I experience caring, support. I experience the nurturance of my mother. I feel the love. I feel the strong foundation. And as I am supported, I feel safe to rise in my frequency. I embrace the new knowledge. I embrace the truth. I bring in the culture and the memory, the history and the feeling of Lemuria. I breathe it in and I breathe out any blocks to accessing Lemuria. Breathing in new Lemuria, and I breathe out the old world. Breathe in Lemuria, breathing out the old world. I open my heart fully, and the Mother Goddess activates my wish. I am free. I am free to pursue my passions, my interests, to evolve spiritually, to open my heart fully. I have no fear. I have no doubt. There is no judgment on desiring my highest spiritual evolution upon earth at this time. I am grounded fully on the new earth. I tap my feet on the new earth, integrating Lemurian energy. I bring in fun. I bring in adventure. I bring in exploration. I am pursuing my interests. I am with the people that I love. My karma is gone. The whole world is in front of me. I can do this, or I can do that. It is an empty template, which I fill with creativity, which is naturally a side effect of unconditional love. I feel the love. I feel the joy. I see everyone's perspective as my perspective. I hold my brothers and sisters high, high, high in the light. I give them my love freely, unabashedly, and I receive their love in return. I send my love to Mother Earth, the animals, the stones, the waters, and the plants of the new earth. I am one with them all. We are one. I have found my way home. I have found my piece of heaven. There is nowhere else I want to be. There is nowhere else I want to go. I feel the love. I see the light. I experience the truth. I seek no more. I lift my heart. I lift my mind. I bring in the beauty and resources of Lemuria, and I live in joy with all living beings on Mother Earth. May we all be eternally blessed under the loving eyes of the Mother Goddess. Be blessed, be blessed, be holy and loved. You are home. Namaste. Okay, and I just go ahead and breathe in high frequency energy and love, and then just breathe out love. I ask that you pull that energy from source, bring that line of energy into your crown and back into your heart. And pull the energy up from Mother Gaia. Bring that energy through your root and into your heart. Go ahead and pull your energy from the heart of the Mother Goddess and return that line of communication to your heart. And the Mother Goddess pulls her energy from your heart and brings it back to her heart. And so now we offer protection around the higher frequency that you are in. We place you in 100 eggs with a star at the top and a diamond at the bottom and a DNA cord running through 100 eggs. And we say, turn on eggs. We ask for protection around you, and we ask for protection around this frequency. Amen.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. That was a beautiful activation, a homecoming. Oh my goodness. We feel it.
Thank you. I'm glad I could channel that energy. So I hope you guys can feel the energy. And the Mother Goddess is telling me to tell you that if you need love and support, if you need to be held, if you need guidance, to pray to her, call on her, and she'll come there. She'll help you if you need it.
Okay, beautiful. I think we are tapping our feet on new earth. In the total, the beginning of that, wow, rocked us to our core. Deep gratitude for that. And then our vibration is so high right now. It's so precious that words, it's like we don't want to disturb this with words. Beautiful. I really feel this through the heart, and I truly hope that all of those in our audience is feeling it as well. This is the creativity that comes forth from this, the passion that comes forth from this is how the world changes. I can sense that. Exquisite. Thank you.
Oh, well, thank you. We definitely are going home sooner rather than later. I really feel like it's sooner rather than later. So just hold on tight. Hold on tight. We're going.
Yes. And this activation fortifies us against whatever we may see externally and even internally. It felt like a dredging out of guilt and shame, or a sense of responsibility for the pain that we feel from the past. And then even in our current world, when we look out and feel pain, no matter what it is, but that's gone. We've released that. That really feels like it's released. Not a cop-out or a bypass, but just transmutation of that. Because we are here to bring in this new frequency. I feel that download.
Okay, yeah. I think you're entirely on it. I mean, we can't carry the shame. We can't carry the guilt. We can't carry the regrets into our new life. There's no place for that. That frequency is not going to be sustained in the high energies of Lemuria. So just let it go, let it go, let it go, and bring in the new, which is a much happier, it's really joy. The energy of Lemuria is joy. And so feel that, bring it in, ask for it. If you can't experience it directly, call on the Mother Goddess. She'll bring it to you. So, but thank you, Lauren. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Donna. We really appreciate the beautiful energy coming through and the information that you bring forward. And so we invite our audience, if you've got a question for Donna, please, this is your time to ask. You can raise your hand or you can put it in the Q&A box. As we wait for that to transpire, let's talk about ways that people can work with you. You've got a whole wealth of programs that people can use as tools in their life to raise their frequency and do deeper work. And we have a special offer. I'm putting the link in our Zoom chat box. And I'm also referring all of those who are watching and listening to this to check out the description box, no matter where you're watching this. It's either on this webpage or in the description box of this program. Donna, tell us about your special offer, please.
Well, I do have a series of 8 tapes channeled by my guides. And those tapes are one offer. I'm sorry, I forgot to put them up in front of me, so I don't have them. I can pull them though. And then I also have, that's offer one, the 8 tapes. I know one of them is bringing in your divine template with Archangel Raphael. They're basically channelings from my angelic guides. And the second offer is the tapes along with a heart thread session. So you would have your own personal heart thread session. And the sessions last a half an hour, so they're longer than what we did here. And basically, I just read the impressions coming off of you, and they're released as we go through the process. And sometimes the guides will come in and bring in downloads to integrate. So you could have an intention for your heart thread session, or you could just do it free form. And so I would just read what's going on in your life right now. And the guides offer healing. The third offer is, it's called Soul Class. I did this in December. It was pretty popular. And basically, I'm teaching, or I'm not teaching, I'm actually channeling my guides for 3 classes. And so it's Soul Class 1, Soul Class 2, and Soul Class 3. And the classes start on January 21st. The second class is January 28th, and the third class is February 4th, which are Saturdays. So the first class is basically a hardcore cleanse. And when I say hardcore, I mean hardcore. We're going to release demonic energy from your field if it's there. We're going to release reptilians, insectoids. We're going to release negative elementals, curses, ghosts, discarnates, parasites, anything that's in your field that you really don't want. And you don't need to be judgmental about it, because guess what? Everybody picks up negative attachments. If you're going outside, you're going to pick them up unless you're constantly protected. So we're going to do a cleanse to release all these negative attachments from your energy field and from your physical body. Some people have addictions, they have depression, they have insomnia, they have grief, they have a lot of negative emotions, and it's not really them, it's negative attachments working through your field. And if people did this type of spirit releasement in their recovery programs, believe me, they would have a much easier time recovering from alcoholism, drug addiction, because a lot of it is spiritual, but they don't understand that in the medical systems. So that's the first cleanse. The reason we're doing, or the first class, the reason why we're doing the cleanse is because we want to release anything that could be a block to the next 2 classes. So on the second class, the following Friday, I'm going to channel the Arcturians. I'm going to bring in the divine physical template of perfect health into your body. The Arcturians are the master healers in this universe or this galaxy, and they can bring in templates, and we bring those into your body, the skeletal system, the nervous system, the circulatory system, the endocrine system, cardiovascular system, etc. We bring them in, and then we actually get your organs and your systems to connect to the divine template, and then you start receiving instructions from the divine template, and you start to heal. In the meantime, the Arcturians are overseeing this, so that you have a good experience. Because if we healed all in one fell swoop, it would be too much. It would be too much energy, combustible energy in the body. So that's the first part of the class. And then the second class is that we're going to switch out your timelines. I work with these ETs. They're not really ETs. They're light, they're light beings. And they're 12th dimensional, and they're not from this universe. They came to me in 2019 and started healing me. And so they're called the green-hearted healers. I also work with the Arcturians. I've seen the Arcturians. Like, I'm talking about things that I work with. I deal with these entities. I'm not reading about them on the internet. I'm not studying them with some guru. No, they come to me. We work together. They heal me, basically. So they have the ability to switch out your timelines. They're that amazing. And The other ETs that can do that are the blue avians. I don't know if you've worked with them, but they're amazing too. So we're going to pull from your timelines, your accidents, your bad health, everything that's negative. We're going to pull it out, and then we're going to bring in a high, high, high timeline of perfect health, abundance, love, all of that. So I'm really excited about that. They do a really good job with that. Actually, after I did this class in December, I started losing weight, which I need to do, right? But I'm not eating any differently. It's because my template was downloaded and my endocrine system's acting differently. So it does work. And then the third class is this is exciting. So the son of the mother goddess. And by the way, if you see gold in the sky with the pink, that's the sun. The pink is the mom. The gold is the sun. That's his color. That's his ray. It's yellow. It's mental. He's going to come in, and he's the being that did this originally. When your soul was born, you got a divine soul signature. The soul signature is the heart song, the song of your heart. So when you meet that person that you come into contact with on vacation and you're like, hey, I know you, you do, because you actually are hearing their heart song, which is the soul signature. So he's going to download the original soul signature that he imprinted on your soul when you were born, so that you can remember, because this is your calling card. This is how people know you and recognize you. It's within you right now, but some of that energy has been fragmented. We're going to bring in the pure version. And then he's going to bring in your divine soul mission. Everybody has a soul mission. You might be working it. You might not be working it. You might not know what it is, but we're going to bring that in for this incarnation. So the soul signature is for all of your incarnations. The mission is for this incarnation. And then after that, I'm going to channel the Lyrans, who were the first colonizers of Mother Gaia, or Earth. And they're going to bring in Lyran love codes, because again, they're very high vibrational beings, 12th dimensional at the highest level. And we're going to bring in their love codes, which incorporate courage and wisdom. We need more courage and we need more wisdom. So they're going to impart that to us. And then the last download is from the Lemurian mother goddess, and she's going to bathe you in her pink light, the soul ray, so that you can feel nurtured and loved and happy, and just be that for other people, to bring in the nurturance and the love and the support that people need without even thinking about it, because it's going to be in your field, more of it. So that's the class. And then I don't know do you want me to bring up the dates and tell people what they are? Or?
Well, I just think that class is so beautiful. That's very, very special. I'm going to direct people to they can read what those beautiful MP3s are. I think you've done a good job explaining how we can use them and work with them in our life, but that's all there for people to read. Thank you for that. The class that you're teaching, those 3 sessions just seem very powerful for our journey, really effective. We can receive a lot of healing and have beings work with us when we call on them. And you've just put together a really beautiful program. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. I just want to say that as far as the Lemurian mother goddess, I'm the only channel for her at this time. Hopefully some people will channel her in the future. And I'm the only channel for the green-hearted healers. So if you want, other channels channel the Arcturians and the Lyrans, but if you want to experience their energy, please sign up for the class. The mother goddess made it pretty reasonable. All of these classes, 3 hours, is $122, because she wanted everybody to be able to afford it. And it's not an interactive class where you're going to be talking and sharing. It's basically a series of downloads. Sometimes they can be a lot, and sometimes you might need to rest afterwards or take a drink of water or whatever. But I feel like if you do the class, you'll understand for yourself that you should see a difference. I would be very surprised if you don't.
Yes, it may come into the dream space at night. It can happen in our passions that we bring into the world. It just feels that this is energetic, and we are up leveling ourselves in this way when we receive these downloads. Beautiful. Thank you for that. Really exquisite. And a personal session with you is another bonus that people can actually go and ask you any questions as well in this channeling that you do.
With the heart thread, it's not a personal reading. I do personal readings, but the heart thread session is a healing modality where I'm just reading the impressions that naturally come off your back. So I do readings, but the heart thread is a little bit different. This is more a healing modality. Also for the class, and actually for any of the sessions, if you can bring a piece of selenite, that would be great, because the selenite is the highest frequency crystal on the planet, and it's a direct conduit to the celestial realms. So when you're working with Archangel Michael or Sandalphon or Shamuel, they have a much easier time coming into your body, into your field, if you have the selenite. It just makes it easier for them. And also, if you're meditating or praying, get yourself a piece and it will send your intentions very far out. Akhenaten used selenite in the Egyptian mystery schools. That wasn't an accident. All of the people that he worked with got selenite so that they could connect. So the guides are asking that you bring it to the soul class. So I just wanted to tell you that.
All right, everyone will sign up for the soul class. Another way that we want to make it easy for you is that we have a 2-payment plan, if that helps anybody in this process, so that you can join in. And these will be recorded, right? For use later?
They are recorded, but I'm not sending out the recordings. We're doing spirit releasements. In the old days, those were called exorcisms. I need to have oversight of that. I don't want someone doing this channeling in a year from now and me not being there, because entities can get stuck. And when they're pulled out, I need to be there. Yeah.
So you're recording them. Is that for the people who are in the class, or no? Just
I'm recording them in case someone has an emergency and they need the recording. I really can't make it. I need the recording, but I'm not sending out the recordings because with these spirit releasements, there needs to be oversight,
Yeah.
I'll give you an example so you understand. Probably it's 2022, isn't it? Or 23. Oh my God.
I know. Can you believe it?
I can't. It was like, so anyhow, about 13 years ago, I had this gentleman who was kind enough I had reptilians, but I didn't know I had them, like 2 or 3 of them, attachments, and probably since childhood. And so he pulled them out of me, but he was just learning. And I didn't even know what they were, or, I was pretty naive at that time. Anyhow, one of them got stuck and it was with me for a year. I wound up in the hospital and I had a year from where. It was horrible. I had PTSD, anxiety. I went nuts. It was a stuck entity. I don't want that to happen to anyone. So this work is, it's sacred work, so that's why I make sure.
And so really the only reason people would want this recording is to re-listen to it again. So maybe there's no need to re-listen to it again. You can tune into the energy that was there, or just once it's done, it's done.
Yeah, once it's done, it's done. And I do readings, that's how I make my living, and heart thread and such. And I send people the recordings and I say, listen to it again, and they tell me, oh, I listened to it again, but it's not the same. It's really not the same. You got to be there. It's got to be live. That's why I teach channeling live. I don't send out tapes where you can learn to channel. No, I actually teach a class where people come in and we sit down. It might be over Zoom, But you need that live energy to really get the impact and the imprint. And the same with these sessions. And yeah, I don't think I'll ever sell tapes for a class because it's not as good. I, you know,
Yeah.
it's that simple.
Great. Well, we invite those who feel this in their heart as something that would be beneficial to their soul. You know, in your soul, your higher self has guided you here and will alert you if this is something that will be beneficial for you. It sounds wonderful and it seems very helpful at these times, the cleansing and then the acceleration on the journey. Thank you, Donna. All right, we have a few more moments and I want to get to a couple of questions. Here is a question about Andara crystals. Are Andara crystals related to Lemuria? And is Mount Shasta related to Lemuria?
So let's start with Mount Shasta. Yes, Mount Shasta, this is kind of interesting. I went there last year and I was sent there to open the portal there actually. And so the portal got opened. It's a 12th dimensional portal. It's related to Mount Shasta. And when the Mother Goddess was present upon the earth, she actually went to Mount Shasta and vacationed there. That's what I heard. So it's, yeah, Mount Shasta is high Lemurian energy, high frequency. The portal's open. Can you access the portal? Not really, because it's guarded. It's actually guarded by angelic beings. But when we go through the shift, when the portal gets opened in Kauai, that portal in Mount Shasta will be opened as well. It's ancient. I mean, it's an ancient portal. And it was not under the control of the high dimensional beings, but it is now. So yeah, Lemurian energies all in, you know, California, especially on the coast, California up into Oregon, Washington, around the Ring of Fire, even in Argentina, you know, that whole, like you said, micro Indonesia, micro whatever. But anyhow, yeah, that's all Lemurian. It's palpable there. So I'm asking the guides about Andaras. I asked, because I don't really know, so I'm going to channel the information. So I bring in the Lemurian Mother Goddess and Michael. So what I'm getting is that the Andara crystals are directly related to your soul ray. That's why they're different colors. So you're going to be attracted to a certain color based on the energy that you carry. So it could be blue, it could be green. And they're also about, so yes, they are Lemurian, but it's also, the Andara crystals are very intimately involved in healing Mother Earth at this time and raising her frequencies. But essentially, they're like portals to higher aspects of Mother Earth or higher aspects of the ancient versions of Earth where you can access Lemurian energy, Earth energy. The nature devas can come through the Andaras and the nature spirits. That's what I'm getting. So I hope that helps. I don't have any Andaras, so.
So for all of us who have Andaras, I know, look at this pink one. This is the goddess. It is such a high frequency light in the crystal. They're just super high frequency and we're just mystified by them. So thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Wow. Incredible wisdom. Awesome. Okay. More questions coming through. This one. This is interesting from Cherie or Sherry. What do you feel was or is the role of mermaids in Lemuria then and now?
I think they were some of the first beings that came through were the mermaids. The mermaids came from different star systems and they came into the waters and they brought this loving, fun, mystical energy to Earth. And many of the Lemurians that first incarnated, they really didn't want to commit to being a human at that time. So they came in as mermaids. They went through the mermaid life cycle. And then the next incarnation, they became human. So mermaids were also very important in Atlantis. But many of the mermaids, I mean, it was a simple lifestyle. You lived on the rocks, in the caves, in the water, and you didn't have all of these belongings or all of these accoutrements. So it was a very pure, simple, high energy frequency being. And I think that they're still alive today, actually. Yeah. So, but I've seen that pretty often where someone will come in as a mermaid or a merman, and then they'll make the commitment to be human. And usually they do a cycle of lives as a human, and they come in as a human to help heal the earth, to help raise the frequency here. But I've also seen or read that some of the Lemurians that were mermaids originally, they're going to go back and become mermaids again too. Not all of them are going to keep a human form. And many of the dolphins that came in, I feel like the dolphin energy is mainly Pleiadian, and they're here to keep that joy level and the fun level high. And some people are also going to go back to being dolphins. And some of the Lemurians came in first as dolphins. It seems like they came into the water, got used to earth, and then they went on to the land. That seems to be common. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I'm going to put this question out to our Zoom audience. How many of you think that you're a mermaid or remember being a mermaid? If you have a drawer full of swimming suits and you love being in the ocean, yes, yes, you were a mermaid. I remember swimming with the dolphins and I cried in my snorkel because I just remember being with them. And oh, I want to cry right now just feeling into that. So yeah, I remember that. And here's a quick little story. Here in Costa Rica, this man is still alive. 40 years ago, he was out fishing. He saw a mermaid. He then spent a lot of money and through the decades built a statue of a mermaid. And people go out and she's out on the rocks. And at low tide, you can go out there and take photos with her and everything. But isn't that amazing? I'm getting chills right now talking about it. He's still on the planet. I would love to go interview him and sharpen up my Spanish a little bit more. But isn't that an amazing story? That's an amazing story. That's real.
Yeah, I mean, there's pictures on YouTube, short video clips. I've seen one about these two teenagers. They saw a mermaid in the water near Israel, somewhere in the Middle East, and they have a video of this creature going from the rock into the water. So they're a little bit shy around humans because they're
Yeah. Oh my goodness. All right. Well, everyone, thank you. We are out of time for today, but Donna, you have left us flying high. Our vibration is so high right now. We are ecstatic, and just feeling into this activation, this heart thread session that you gave us leaves us with a huge smile on our heart, and we are changed from it. As we say goodbye, any final thoughts you'd like to share?
For some reason, I'm getting impressed to share this, so I hope it's okay. If you would like to connect to your star system, if you're a Sirian or a Pleiadian or an Arcturian or an Andromedan, and you know that, and you want to connect to your guides there, take a quartz crystal like this, and then let's say you want to connect to the Pleiades, you put the crystal over your third eye, and you shoot energy through the crystal to your star. Let's say it's Maya and the Pleiades, and you know that. And you say, hi, guides, I want to connect to you. Send the energy. And then what you do is you reverse the crystal. You put the point towards your third eye, and you wait for the download. And they'll start giving you energy. If you're lucky, you'll hear words. But The crystals create the portals. And in Atlantis and other civilizations, they used crystals to access a reality, and then that reality could come through the crystal and manifest here. They're very powerful. So if you want to connect to your guides, try it. Try it in the night sky. My guides wanted me to tell you guys that. So.
Oh, well, thank you for sharing that. We are already on that task. I know there's people working on it right now, and we will be working on it. Thank you. Donna, Carol, Martens, it's always such a joy to talk with you, and we are elated once more. Thank you for helping us with our vibration today. And thank you, everyone, for your light and your love and the work that you do within yourself. Again, we invite you to Donna's class coming up and the MP3, the Lemurian MP3s that she's got, and also the Heart Thread session. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Donna, and thank you, everyone. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you.
Namaste. Bye. Blessings.
Thank you for listening to this quantum conversation, and thank you for dancing with us to the cosmic heart. As we raise our own vibration, we raise the vibration of the planet. This show is dedicated to you and all awakening hearts as we are here to shine our bright light and amplify our love. Access all quantum conversations, special offers from our guests, and online healing retreats by visiting acoustichealth.com. I'm Loren Gailey, and from my sacred heart to yours, I honor your magnificent love and light. We leave you now with music from the universe. Music literally created by the universe, as musical notes were assigned to mathematical equations. The result is this beautiful music available at acoustichealth.com. Namaste.